What's going on, guys? Today, we're going to be talking about how I have been learning Spanish for the last, I want to say, little over a year. I'd say about a year and a half now. It's been a journey, and yeah, I really enjoy doing it. And I would also like to preface that I did say learning. I'm not fluent yet, but I think for someone who has never seriously tried to learn a language before and is doing this all by themselves, I think my level is quite high. But yeah, it's definitely not fluent. But yeah, so I basically just want to talk about the things I do and how you could do it, because especially in the last 6 months, I have had rapid progress. So I think what I'm doing is working. And yeah, I just also want to say I am going to make this video in the style as if you've never looked at Spanish before in your life, or really any language, because I think this can apply to every language. But basically what I would do if I could go back, I would start by getting to know the grammar. The beginning is a lot about the grammar, and I know that sucks, and that's probably an unpopular opinion, but let me finish, because it's not so much about prioritizing and stressing over the grammar. It's just trying to be aware of how the language works while also listening to videos. There's plenty of videos or YouTube channels out there where you can do this thing called comprehensible input. Comprehensible input is basically a way to listen to the language while having visual cues. So through time, your brain will start to program. If you mix in from the beginning the comprehensible input while you're learning the grammar is going to start to make sense because you're listening to it from natives in slow Spanish. So yeah, I mean, if you from the beginning don't stress over the grammar, just become aware of it, know the rules, review them here and there, and listen to the language as much as possible. I'm going to leave resources for all the YouTube channels and applications. Oh my God, applications is so goofy, bro. Apps that I used. But basically for grammar, I would use channels like The Language Tutor, and another YouTube channel I used is Crew Paul, and that's with a Q. And I'm going to link all of this in the description because they are super useful, easy to understand grammar. They make it very easy to understand as they both are self-taught learners. So who's going to know better than someone that taught themselves, right? So yeah, check them out. Another great grammar tool is actually, believe it or not, ChatGPT. And again, that might be controversial, but I really don't care because it works. Here's why. Let's say you're learning, I don't know, the subjunctive, and there's 10 examples, and one of them looks like the other ones, but when you make it subjunctive, it's actually supposed to be indicative. Or basically what I'm trying to say, that there's grammar rules in some sentences that look like they're going to work in other sentences, but they don't, and you don't know why. And you know what happens when you Google that? Nothing. You can't find anything. But you know who does probably know the answer? ChatGPT. Again, just sometimes AI makes mistakes, but in my experience, it has been nothing but super helpful. You could be super specific with the questions, and that's huge. I mean, that's half of it, right? You gotta know what's going on. And then for the comprehensible input, I cannot stress how well this YouTube channel worked for me. It is called Dreaming Spanish. Give them all your money. They are the best people ever. They literally changed everything for me. There's literally, I think, over 5,000 videos of comprehensible input at all levels, from super beginner to, I believe, advanced. And that honestly was like the best thing for me, the Dreaming Spanish. It is unbelievable. So yeah, I will be linking all of this in the description. So as you start improving, it is really important that you increase the comprehensible input and decrease on the grammar just a bit. Like always, keep reviewing it every once in a while, but your prioritization once you start improving should really be with the listening and the speaking. There's a lot of places you could use to speak. There's an app on your phone you could get called Tandem. You could connect with natives trying to learn English, and that really helped. You meet cool people. And then there's another website if you want to practice rapidly. It's called OmeTV. I'm sure you've seen it. Just be careful. There's some weirdos on there. But if you switch the country to Spanish-speaking countries, I always switch it to Colombia and Argentina. And most of the time, people are cool and they help me. So yeah, you should totally try that as well. I will also put these in the descriptions. But yeah, the main thing is the more you improve, you need to focus on using and listening more than the grammar. Another tip at this stage, which I recommend, which is it has accelerated my vocabulary, is that while I watch the comprehensible input or while I'm speaking to people, I have a document I made called a word tracker. Any new word, any new phrase, any new anything, I write it down, and I then in a week, I move them to flashcards. I actually use Anki for this, which is a digital flashcard app. It's very good. I recommend that too. It's also free. But yeah, so I think having a word tracker, because a lot of times what I was doing, which was wrong, is I'd be watching videos or speaking and it'd be like, huh, what's that word? And I'd put it in the translator and instantly forget it, you know? So now I'm not doing that. I'm remembering most new words I hear, obviously. Sometimes some words I know better than others, like anyone. So unlike a lot of people who make these videos, which always bothered me when I was starting, I'm actually going to speak Spanish now. Yeah, so let's speak some Spanish. Buenas todos y todos, soy yo y soy de Estados Unidos. Hace 1 año y medio empecé a aprender español totalmente por mi cuenta. Y como puede ver, no soy fluido, pero está bueno porque es un proceso muy largo como cualquier cosa en la vida. Y sí, creo que puedo usar mis métodos con aprendiendo un idioma por cualquier idioma que quiera aprender. Sí, bueno, para mí español fue muy importante porque... Sí, porque creo que español en mi área, en mi sitio, es muy útil porque hay muchísimos hablantes del español. Y sí, para mí es muy útil. Bueno, también soy un ingeniero de audio y al principio cuando empecé a aprender español, tenía un negocio en ingeniería de audio y quise alcanzar nuevos clientes de todas partes del mundo y me pensé que el español fue un muy bien lugar para empezar con los idiomas, y a medida que mejoré me sentí que eso es más chévere de el ingeniería de audio, y ahora quiero ser un maestro de inglés y español y otros idiomas algún día. Y sí, eso es mi historia, perdón. Esto fue mi historia y sí. Yeah, so that's me speaking Spanish. It's not perfect, it's not fluent, but I think for self-taught in 1.5 years, it's not terrible. I think it's actually quite good. So just don't rip me too hard in the comments, please. You could rip me, it's fine. But yeah, so yeah, in conclusion, just make sure that you're starting with grammar and from the beginning, listen and speak if possible too, but grammar and listen in the beginning. As you get better, wean off the grammar, do more listening, and really start to do more speaking, and just keep a word tracker with you through the whole thing. It doesn't have to be such a crazy, stressful process. But you know, what do I know? I'm not fluent yet, so see you guys.